name is Julian Baker, and I've been a manual therapist for over 30 years. I started doing my manual therapy in 1988. I learned reflexology in Bowen, and I always found that the anatomy that I was learning along the way was not necessarily joined up, if you know what I mean. I'd study the knee, and I'd study the shoulder, or I'd study the neck, and there was always a gap about how these things were put together. And later on, when I started to teach Bowen, and I've been teaching Bowen for over 25 years, trying to get people to start to body read and start to look at how one part of the body might move and therefore affect another part. And the anatomy, again, just doesn't really join this up, and it's not really readily accessible in any of the books. In 2007, I went to San Francisco and did a 6-day dissection course with Gil Headley. You can find his videos all over YouTube. And it just changed everything. It was a complete game changer for me in relation to understanding that, there is stuff that isn't in the books, and it's not really how it is in the books. I brought Gil over to the UK. I coordinated his courses for many years, started to run my own dissections as well. And coming at it from the perspective of manual therapy, that's the thing that sort of separates me from Gil, is that I've got this manual therapy approach that I've been doing for many, many years, and trying to understand what it is that I've been doing. So my courses have been directed at getting manual therapists and movement therapists to think about what it is that they're doing, what we can feel under our hands, what's changing, what's true, what's not true, and also to explore some of these ideas that have come up around fascia and whether we can change it or not. With the lockdown, of course, I was unable to go out and teach, and sat at home forced to think about what can I do. So I've gone into my archives of my hard drives, and over the years I've collected some incredible pictures and videos from labs around the world, and I've put together a series of webinars that I started a few weeks ago, just looking at specific areas of the body and specific subjects, and putting this across with some dissection pictures, some traditional anatomy, and trying to explain a little bit of a joined up way of thinking. So we've now got to, I think it's sort of 11 or 12 weeks down the track, and we've got a really good library which is covering loads of things like the psoas, the diaphragm, the deep neck, some deep fascia, a little bit of introduction as to what fascia is and what it isn't, and some of the things that are true and not true about it. So please, I'd love you to come and have a little look at this. I've tried to keep it as low a cost as possible. I realise that pretty much all our profession, in terms of manual therapists and hands-on therapists, their income was wiped out at a stroke when we were all locked down. And so in producing this material, I wanted to make it as accessible so that we could spend this time studying and really getting back into our theory in a different way, in a more reliable way. So each of the webinars I've kept to just £5 as a cost, and you can access 10 of those on the website. The address is underneath here, and you can address 10 of those for £45. So head on over to the website. They're pre-recorded. The quality over the last few weeks has improved. It's been a bit of a learning curve to put these things together. I've never done stuff like this before, and so it's been really instructional for me to do that, and to study a little bit around the subjects as well, looking at the pictures and thinking, well, what else does it show us here? And I've tried to challenge a few of the things that we might think of as absolutely true and set in stone, and break those down, and to try to get people to think in a more broader and joined up sense. In anatomy, we don't, medical anatomy, we tend not to think about how the head might relate to the knees or the feet. But in reality, of course, we know that the moment we move around, we have a different loading in a different position. And that's very important when it comes to movement, and it's very important when it comes to understanding why somebody might be presenting as far as pain is concerned. My classes are, as I said, aimed at manual movement therapists, simply because I believe that this army, if you like, of people are underserved in terms of anatomy, and that the anatomy that they're learning is something that they're working with on a day-to-day basis, and it needs to reflect the needs of the manual therapist, and I don't really think that traditional and medical anatomy does that. So that's been my passion, if you like, for many years, is to try and find a way of explaining a traditional anatomy but bringing it together. And that's what I've tended to do in these webinars. Each of the one is just around an hour and a half long. If any more questions that you have, having watched them, then please you don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll go through some video emails, of answering those emails as well. So that's what I try and do as well. So come along, have a little look. Hope you'll join us. Spread the word. We've kept the cost low, and if there's any specific subjects that you'd like to see, then please don't hesitate to ask. Hope you enjoy it. Bye for now.